This is part 5 of the Centered Human series. Part 5 is the mind, the center of the psyche. So we started with a general soothing of the overall system because that's our goal. Definitely say yes, or I accept, or write a comment to connect. Like, subscribe, and comment. Help me to grow. But also help this energy to flow to you in your outright willingness to receive. So we started this series with the general soothing, because this is centered human, is a balanced system. It requires respect for all parts to stand in your center. And your centers. And the centers are all reflecting. So second, we address the tubular being, which is the main highway for energy to pass through, being recycled above, through source and receiving infinite source energy, which is reiki, and then also connected through your lower body to the earth, and recycling energy there and receiving earth energy there. Grounded, fresh energy that is so assisting in the body, in the mind, in the emotional, mental, physical, spiritual makeup of this body being experience, of being human. So then we went to the Hara, which I named the soul center, particularly for this series. It's the void space, the womb space, the infinite darkness of infinity reflected within us. And that's also reflected in the center of the heart and the center of the psyche. And so you've got your guts, your heart, and your mind. And today we're working particularly with the mind, though they're all inseparable, all reflections of each other. Let's just work on the head space. Just acknowledging the static, the stress, the buildup of conversation there that's a bit disconnected from spirit. Remember, you are a spirit. You're a body in a spirit, not a spirit in a body. And thoughts are always passing through because you're absorbent and electric, and you have a lot of stored emotion, most likely, especially if you're here. That's probably something that you're working through, working with, stored emotion. And so your mental faculties are responding to environmental stimulation and circumstances, and then you're having the stored emotion and the groomed patterns of emotional response are responding to those stimulations and circumstances. And for the mind to function in its highest, to be high functioning in a way that is accessible for all humans, which is to be the kind witness and to be really good at deeply listening. What does that require? Circulation. Circulation, mind, body, awareness in your heart space and your lower center, able to drop into presence there. So the center of the psyche is beneath the core patterning of how you relate, how you form attachments. So how you form attachments, how you relate to your environment, and how you express yourself. Those are the 3 core patterns that form from conception through the first 3 years. Just breathing light and circulation there now. Might feel clunky or bumpy if there's a lot of protection around. That's okay. Just notice the sensation and be breathing and receive this all-loving energy wherever it's touching now. Feel your feet on the ground or your butt in the chair or your back on the bed, wherever you are. Feeling held. Stabilized in your lower belly. Warm in your heart space, and receiving of this acknowledgement in your psyche. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Anything loose, ready to be released, is being returned to the earth, thrown out to the cedar trees all around me. Excellent, excellent natural recycling organisms the cedar is, and we are surrounded. You are surrounded wherever you are in this loving cedar, Mother Earth energy through me as your proxy here, sitting in the West Coast rainforest with these big, big, big cedars. Just are so happy to slurp it up. And here we go. This one's a bit dry, but I have it sitting there. And cedar is very loving, and that it carries our prayers. So notice what's arising in terms of desire in your body, in your mind, in your feeling and sensing field. Noticing and releasing in trust. Because when we hold on, it becomes too much in the mind. And the mind overheats. And the mind tries to control and organize everything. Some good movement in the belly. I'm feeling bubbly. Nervousness. That can be both, like anxious fear or excitement. Very similar energy. And so we're just, again, feeling your feet on the floor, on the earth, your butt, your back, in the chair or the bed, wherever you are. Feeling your body held. As we journey into the mind, which can be a very safe, beautiful place. When we feel secure and stabilized to witness there. That's what we're working on. Because that's a training that most of us did not receive in our early years or in our adolescence or as adults. And so we're claiming it for ourselves. You do not need to identify with your thoughts. The world is full of plenty of endless perspectives and perversions, and to be able to witness them, the information of them passes through our mind. And we didn't really get to choose what we witnessed as children. And we did get, in different ways, addicted to consuming different substances filled with tons of information that doesn't necessarily rhyme or have the same rhythm as our freedom, our health, our wealth, our ecstatic love. And so there's lots of stuff built up in the system that you're allowed to receive assistance to release and relieve, and to be at center, to have a relationship, a healthy, active relationship with center of the psyche, the heart, the hara. It's an invisible center. But a place that you build an intimate, sensual relationship with. So that it's easier and easier to go there, to stand there, to stay there. That's the place where you're anchored into, rather than any story or identity or external expression or thing or place or relationship or group. So that this sensual relationship with your own invisible center, that's the most immaculate sense of belonging. And so that then you as a magnet is most potent for attracting what is aligned with your authentic expression. We've been groomed to believe that people who are naturally open to the extremes of psyche and psychic awareness are dangerous or disturbed. And often there is an appearance of dysfunction or disturbance because the training hasn't been there. The acceptance has been lacking. And it has benefited the authorities that reign in subtle or overt terror for us to be scared of ourselves in the center of our psyche, which is a place where we stand holding equal opposites with equal reverence, which doesn't mean we embody the extremes. It actually gives us access to embodying a neutral and having access to conscious, authentic, easy navigation of life and the extremes that are possible. Attending now with so much loving approval and acceptance and gracious capacity for recycling the energy of any experiences of extreme expression that you have experienced recently or any time this lifetime or past lifetimes. Oh yeah. Lots of energy recycling here and now. Welcoming it. Feeling any resistance and welcoming that too, and letting there be warmth there with the resistance and with whatever energy rising, and centering yourself with really deep breaths, exaggerated exhales, saying yes to releasing, yes to recycle, yes to discharging that energy that when it's stored, it blocks pathways for flow, for manifesting, for being your sincere, authentic, liberated self. And that also blocks pathways for energy circulating between the mind and the body, the internal and the external. And so often a lot of energy gets caught in the mind and it overheats, and that's where disturbances and extensive, being lost in a delusion, being trapped in a singular story, that's where that comes from. Too much heat in the head. So I repeat that it's really possible and truly accessible to you to have a friendly, loving, ongoing experience, relationship with the center of your psyche, the place where duality meets. If you will, do this with me at your heart center. Pressing your hands in prayer, pressing as little or as much as you like, and just feeling that center line of your entire being. That's the razor's edge, both of compassion, that willingness to hold and equally approve in a loving way of all equal opposites within yourself and within collective expression. Pressing again here and feeling that line extend into your mind. Dusting it off. It's always there for you, and in your mind, it's the razor's edge of consciousness. And I think of it, and as I acclimatized to having a relationship with it, I thought of it as a tightrope. And it is kind of a whoa, topsy-turvy experience sometimes, and it's this fine line that stretches between all things that is strong enough to hold you. And we are lightening up through this work. We are lightening the load. We are accessing our light bodies. A lightness of heart. The heart is meant to be light as a feather, not carry suffering, but be available, open, light-hearted, which attends to suffering in a completely different way than carrying it in the body. You're breeding permission to experience and recycle energy in an ongoing way. And this builds your capacity for standing on that razor's edge of consciousness, where as we build this capacity, life is kind, and life is always going to bring you what can be considered tests or your next level, your next piece of the puzzle that emphasizes your capacity. And it's okay to collapse, is what I'm hearing. Or contract, either one. because your line, your center, or your centers, they're always there for you. And sometimes we get really wrapped up in identity or story or experiencing ourselves in the external world, and we lose track of center. And sometimes a collapse occurs to give us a fresh start. And that can be really exhausting, and we don't necessarily desire the intensity of the experience of collapse and the recuperation or the reconfiguring that occurs there. But it is a natural experience in awakening. And you are capable of locating yourself at center, to be at peace with any collapse or contraction that occurs. And contraction is a natural opposite to expansion. And so you get to feel yourself in both extremes. And that's always, always occurring. The heart is always doing that. And the mind does that as well, where it's like, wow, and then, oh no, wow, and then, oh no. But at the center of that, of both of those experiences, is the same center. And that's the place where you can be witnessing your human experience, because you are a spirit first and foremost. That's your natural essence. And then you're this body in this spiritual experience. And then you have a mind that's processing it. And then you have lots of stored, you have emotional reactions or responses and stored emotion based on how the mind processed your physical experiences as a body having a spirit, as a spirit having a bodily experience. And so where we go to get back, to work our way back through that, is emotion. And it's emotion that's emotional experiences and memories that are stored through layers of memory, of psyche, that are stored there, that reflect in the body tissues, in dis-ease and disorder. And it's toxic. It's toxic for the mind and for the body. And so we go to focus on discharge and to feel stabilized, secure, and safe in the forms of discharge that we're choosing, which may be why you love ASMR and Reiki videos, because it's gentle but also profound, and you know you're not alone because you see the number of people watching and you hear these excellent folks attending to what's really true for you in the videos that they're making, which is such a special experience that we're having with this internet land and YouTube. I'm very grateful. So we're recovering our center from the buildup of toxic, stored emotion, memory, attachment to stories and identities and people and places. And we build our tolerance for releasing and relieving those attachments. And we get to experience in that secure attachment within ourselves, that sensual relationship with our own centers, with our own center. So in the next and final video of this series, we're going to attend to your whole bubble and really taking up your whole energy bubble, claiming your domain. which is what's possible when you're in that healthy, loving, active relationship with center, is that you take up all of you. You're really presenced. And that's the best form of protection, is openness. We've been convinced through our conditioning to resist and reject that notion, feeling like defense, shut down, blocking what we don't like or what hasn't worked for us or what has hurt us. And that hurt is so genuine. And we're letting it go because it's blocking your conscious awareness from your own center. And your own center is going to be the best friend that you've ever had. And it is the inner being. The center of the psyche is alive with the voice of your inner being, which is all approving and all accepting, which doesn't mean that it's a pushover. It's an extremely non-abusive place. And a lot of abuse on our human landscape has been rationalized, like the suppression of emotion. Rationalized as average, normal, an everyday occurrence. It's okay, but it's blocking the way. It's blocking your biggest enjoyment of being at play with yourself and the universe. Really feeling like a magenta and pink and rosy energy. Yeah, letting any red, noticing it, finding it beautiful, and then letting it like sparkle, even inflame in the acknowledgement, in the recognition, and into this softening. This is really about high-level detachment that enables that natural state of openness in a way that's very grounded, anchored, safe, secure, stabilized for ongoing relationship with the centers, with your central column as a highway for energy movement, with the center line as that razor's edge where you stand able to embrace both sides of duality and whatever expression is in front of you or within you. Hold them equally, feeling that steadiness, no longer such a push-pull of trying to decide good, bad, right, wrong, yes, no. This is a very yes experience of yes. This is what I've been waiting for, looking for. This is what's been alive inside of me all along. Yes, this is what's possible in this human form. And yes, this is the birthright of liberation that I claim. Yes, I'm willing to practice. Yes, I experience no sensations in my body. And yes, I pause to presence myself with them. Yes, I have resources within me and around me to assist me in presencing myself with the no and the resistance energy and the addictions that come through feeding resistant pathways and releasing energy there and calling presence back there. And opening back up to my true identity as a witness for all of it, an unflinching witness of all of it, in a very happy, satisfied, optimistic, positive, loving, encouraging inner being, which is the authentic expression of every person's center. It's source energy. It's all loving. And so every little slurp that we can allow ourselves of that builds our tolerance for challenges, and not tolerance to allow abuse, but tolerance to endure the abuses in a way that's accentuating presence, amplifying presence, expanding presence, as opposed to shutting it down. Most of us, we're groomed, we reflected coping methods, mechanisms in our caregivers, our early years caregivers, of shutting down in high sensation. And so we are opening up to the high sensation. Pain and suffering and challenges are high sensation, but so is havingness and dreams come true, and being in love and holding wealth and being healthy. And so we build our tolerance, as were the words I was using, build tolerance for challenges, not to perpetuate the challenges, but actually for our quality presence to slice through them and open up the possibility being presented within the challenge. And the center of the psyche is a very still, calm, silent, surrendered place that can just be so humored and in love with all the hustle and bustle that happens around it. Doesn't get dragged into things and lost and spiraled. And I mean, sometimes we do. It's okay. We're human. But the more we strengthen connection with the center points, the more we just naturally call our attention back there. The more we naturally land there, even when we get spun out in some way, we naturally cycle back there much more quickly, which is totally something to celebrate every single time. Whether it's you noticing, someone else noticing, or noticing in relationship in groups, but may you celebrate. Celebrating this time together, addressing this topic, addressing it in words and in energy, in presence and sensation. Taking a few moments to nuzzle into the center of the psyche now. If you aren't yet feeling that relief and the warmth and the satisfaction, you can let your attention is probably located up front here or behind your eyes, letting it drop back into your head and up a bit. And resting there and seeing how that feels, if you can, and if not, that's something to play with. See if you can get there, because that's the seat of the kind witness. That's the place you'll hear the incredible intelligence of your inner being, which is always guiding you through the release of stuck emotions, stuck stuff clogging up the pathways of your best circulation. Remember to drink water, and that's a reminder to myself too. Often when we feel hungry, and hungry is something that is this condition in humans, reaching externally and stuffing ourselves to cope and to give us a false sense of anchoredness in our bodies, and to cope with the lack of information and training around being a body in a spirit, which is a very expansive cosmic experience and also an earthy material experience. And it's from our centers that we can really enjoy that spectrum of extremes and be both, be all of it in a way that's not only like pleasurable for us as an individual person, but also breeding permission for true, authentic liberation of people, equality among people. It's naturally dissolving conflict in your own system. And so you're contributing non-conflict to the collective experience. And the more moments we spend doing that, the more we'll see the results in our relationships, in our immediate surroundings, and on Earth as a collective. So this is true service work. And for me, it's the place to start and to always circle back to when challenges or concerns or suffering arises. You're incredible. So honored that we're here together. I hope you'll join me for the final video in the series. If you love this conversation, I hope you'll join Mission, which starts next Friday, is the first email. And so enrollment is open until Thursday evening, and it's priced at the same price as I purchased at one point Reiki attunements online. And they were delivered with a handbook from a man. I really liked his energy, but there wasn't like conversation and support going on, or group practice of the practices that anchor and stabilize and build security in this openness. And so I've priced this offering at the same price that I paid for those attunements. And I'm offering more than attunements. I'm offering a 10-week group setting, and the container is actually already set and is going to stretch all the way to New Year's, the energy container, the Reiki bubble. So you have some, like a golden carpet leading into our 10-week container and also leading you onwards. And then there will be opportunity after the 10 weeks to be in a monthly membership. You can come in and out of there, but it's called Mastery, and it's a place for us to continue practicing and building our skills, our intuitive skills, and to be attended by the group, by me, and with yourself, with support. When big emotional experiences arise, when big opportunities to release stuck emotion and you feel that resistance, you have this community around you, and wherever you find that, I am celebrating it. And if you're called to be in community with me, this is a great time to jump in. And so you're getting the attunements, the Kundalini Millennium attunement, which is level 1, 2, and 3. Receive it, and it rolls out through your being. And then you also receive the gold attunement and a purple attunement. Gold is really great for dissolving like fear-based blockages, and purple, like the violet flame, is, yes, burning up stuck stuff. Returning to our authentic divine nature that we've been addressing in this video. And so you get some written and some bite-sized video practices from me each Friday. And then we meet every other Sunday for a group session where we go on a meditative journey, receive attunements, or an experiential journey that helps to integrate and acclimatize this openness. And you have time to ask questions and interact as a group. And popular right now. And also where we'll practice the bite-sized practices and chat about the subjects that were delivered in the email. It feels amazing. And there's some really cool people already in this group, and I welcome you if this is resonating. So lots of support there. You also get Telegraph text access to me Friday, Saturday, Sunday through the 10 weeks, one-on-one. There's no group chat. I don't love moderating those or really being a part of them. I find them really inundating energetically. But like if that works for you, I love it. And I would welcome like one person in the group if they were inspired to hold that. Go for it. But I love being available one-on-one. So that's what I'm offering, which is a really high ticket item. I have an incredible amount of high-level training as a shadow integration coach, as an energy master healer, as an astrologist, and in terms of communication within and interpersonally. So I would love to bring those skills to work for you if you're called to work with me. Check it out. The link is in the description below. Mission. And I'd love to see you there, and I'll leave it at that for today. Please do like, comment, subscribe if this video has been meaningful to you. I'd love this channel to grow. I'd love for me and for us to connect with our people who understand this conversation, who want to have these conversations and do this work together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you a blessed and beautiful day, and I'll see you in part 6.